Hey, what's up, guys? Well, it looks like NASA is finally doing it. They are going to be shutting down the space feed that they featured for years on the International Space Station. They're shutting it down. And all I can say is, do you blame them? I mean, honestly, it seems that they are finally taking the hint that people like you and people like me, people all over the world dedicated to this research, have been building a mountain of evidence. Forget everything else. Evidence based solely on the anomalous activity that has been happening courtesy of the International Space Station's live feed. So, it would seem that NASA is finally taking it down. They are running scared, so to speak. They don't want any more eyes looking up into space above our Earth unless they control it. And as we've seen, they are just not quick enough at cutting that feed, and they have not been faster than we are at catching these UFOs and this activity that has appeared outside the International Space Station. So they released this press release here. The fact that they're shutting down the ISS feed is kind of bundled up in this nice little summary here, and it's just kind of slipped in there. In the press release, they talk about how they are going to be creating some new projects that will, quote, bring its audience inside the world of human spaceflight as never before, and that they are phasing out the Space Station Live program this month and to be discontinued completely September 1st. They do say, however, that they will continue to air live coverage of, quote, dynamic space station operations, including launches, dockings, landings, spacewalks, and briefings, and will continue to air weekly highlights of life on board the space station. So it seems to me what they're doing is, and what they're saying here is that they're disabling the live feed. However, they will allow us their own controlled video clips of stuff like launches and spacewalks, things that they have firmly under their control, video footage that they will control, and not just some live feed running 24/7. So it's pretty clear here. They're disabling the feed, and they are going to feed us from now on video that is appropriate for us to see and that they control. So there you have it. This may be the end, as we know it, of the ISS live feed research that we've been doing for years now. But honestly, I'm surprised that it took them this long to discontinue this thing. I mean, honestly. But it just shows right there that they're busted. We've busted them, people, and that's something you could be proud of. Because if they had nothing to hide, they would keep the feed going. But it's gotten to the point where we're catching these anomalies more and more, a couple times a week. And it just seems easier for them to phase it out and then to supply us with edited and controlled pieces of video of stuff that really has nothing to do with space, but of other fun things like dockings and launches, which God knows we haven't seen a billion times before. So, there's a lot of speculation as to why they're suddenly and so quickly disabling the live feed. There's been a lot of talk lately. Of course, we talked in a couple previous videos about people think that Planet X is heading toward us. Now, of course, I do not believe that, but that doesn't mean there isn't something else out there. And of course, they want to hide the UFO activity, so that's one reason. But there's some other interesting things out in space that NASA and other people have been taking an interest into. Here, for instance, is a screen grab from the SDO showing NASA blocking out a portion of the sun. Either that, or there is a large circular object moving in between the stereo cameras, obstructing the view of the sun here, as you're seeing. And these images here were taken over just the past couple of days. Now, what else is also interesting is NASA's sudden interest in a giant asteroid that does have a very close potential of destroying Earth. And this asteroid is called Bennu, or Bennu. and this asteroid crosses Earth's orbit once every 6 years, and has gotten closer since its discovery. It was discovered in 1999. Now, lucky for us, this object will not have its chance to destroy Earth until about the year 2135. And at or around that time, this asteroid will fly between the moon and the Earth. In fact, this asteroid has a 1 in 2700 chance of hitting Earth. Now, those odds are very significant because those are very big odds, honestly, in the scheme of things. For instance, the chance of you being killed by a firearm is around 1 in 7,900, according to the National Safety Council. And the chance that this thing's going to hit Earth is 1 in 2,700. So, the odd thing is that if this thing is supposed to hit us long after we've all been dead, then why is NASA suddenly gearing up to send a spacecraft out to, quote, explore this giant asteroid that could destroy Earth? So, over the past month, scientists have been gearing up for the OSIRIS-REx mission, which is headed by NASA and the University of Arizona, and they are launching an unmanned spacecraft on September 8th of this year to reach Bennu. Supposedly, this spacecraft is going out there to survey the giant asteroid and arrive and suck up 60 to 400 grams of soil to bring back to Earth in 2023. But again, and as I've said before, NASA does not send out these billion-dollar probes unless they have a very good reason to spend that type of money. And it's just very strange to me that if this object poses no threat to us for over 100 years, then why are they sending a spacecraft to it? And again, I say, NASA does nothing without good reason. Now, some other things, some really cool, interesting things happening in space. You are seeing an artist impression here of a white dwarf star that is currently blitzing another star with some very powerful rays. It's like zapping this other star. And you're seeing an animation of what this thing looks like here, provided by the European Southern Observatory, or ESO, of this exotic binary star system AR Scorpii. So this is a very unique double star system, and it's 380 light years away from Earth. And this small white dwarf star is spinning so fast that it's causing particles around it to charge up to the speed of light, then blasting off intense beams of radiation out at its companion, which is this much larger but more docile red dwarf star. So this star system was discovered about 40 years ago, and they didn't really start understanding it until they observed it in 2015, when they realized that they were seeing something very extraordinary within minutes of starting their observations. What they do know is that it's a very large object. It's a large glowing object that's the size of Earth. However, although it's only the size of Earth, it does possess over 200,000 times more mass. And this larger red dwarf is about 1/3 the mass of our sun. And these two stars are orbiting each other every 3.6 hours. And you can just see that this white dwarf here is just spinning and zapping this sun here with radiation. However, there is a mystery as to the origin of these electrons in the first place, and whether they are even associated with either star, and they're trying to figure out if they've possibly come from somewhere else. Definitely not a neighborhood I would want to live near. Alright, so let's get into some sightings and stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I want you guys to check this out. Look at these images here. These are some pictures that were captured by some fishermen off of the coast of Australia, and they kind of rolled up on this very strange alien-looking creature that they spotted floating in the ocean near their boat. And they took these very bizarre images. Now, they first thought that it was a boat, or maybe a hot air balloon, but as they got closer, it turned out to be a dead whale of some sort. And apparently this thing was just swelling up because it had been dead, and when you're dead, your body tends to swell up. But nonetheless, these are some very strange pictures. I mean, you look at this thing, and if you were seeing something like this from afar, I would be scared to death that it was some sort of sea creature that you used to hear about in fairy tales. But it's just a very strange thing, and the fisherman said that it indeed was one of the most strangest encounters he's seen in over 21 years of angling. And now you guys have seen it too. And I'd hate to be near that thing when it pops. So, on to some UFO sightings. Now, we have some very, very mysterious footage captured in Ohio of some very strange light formations in the sky, so check these out. Alright, now, this footage, amazing footage, was emailed to me by a viewer who has actually just set up his own UFO research channel, and he posted these videos to his channel, and I will link to his channel down in the video description. It's called UFO Underground, and he captured these himself off the road outside of Trenton, Ohio. And he says that over the past few months, he's began noticing these very strange lights happening in the sky, appearing, changing, moving into formation, disappearing, and reappearing. Very, very strange. And he said that he would see these things at least maybe once a week, and he has no idea what these things are. I mean, they're not flares, they're not drones. I mean, because they're sitting there and then they'll move into a different formation or shape. And then one of them will disappear, and then it will reappear. And it's just all very strange. It reminds me of the Florida UFO footage that we showed you a couple days ago with all the guys screaming in the background. They're coming to Earth, remember? It was really funny. It reminds me of that. So very, very strange footage. Kudos to UFO Underground, the new channel. Check out the link and you can watch the whole thing again and give them a like. Now, here's a very strange moon image sent to me, taken from the LRock website. We had a viewer who was checking out some different areas on the moon, and he captured what looks like an aircraft of some sort, or at least aircraft shaped, sitting in a crater. And you're seeing that, here's the screen grab that he sent me. So we will go ahead and turn it to the right perspective here, and then we will zoom in, and it's in this center crater here. And as we zoom in, you'll see the object. Now, here it is here, and tell me this doesn't look like an aircraft. It even has a shadow underneath it. And look at this thing. It's kind of shaped like a jet with an opening in the back here, and it almost kind of looks like the space shuttle type shape, but it definitely looks like a flying vehicle of some sort. So, great eye, great catch by our viewer, Charlie, for sending this in, found on the LRock Quick Map. Now, here we have another sighting sent to me from a viewer. This was taken during Christmas time a while back, And again, we have some more very anomalous lights in formation. So check this out.
Look at it!
What, all the dots?
Yes! Holy crap! Or something. There's something behind it. It's in a perfect triangle.
Oh, is that exactly what a UFO is?
I don't know. You could zoom in all the way in. It's like weird.
Yeah. That's not even like white lights, they're like gold.
I know, it's like goldish yellow.
You getting it on video?
Best I can, it's kind of blurry.
Another one's strangling over there.
I know, it's all by itself when you zoom in. Oh, there's one in the back, way behind it.
So again, very strange, a lot of anomalous sightings happening. This footage here captured, once again, over Warren, Ohio. So a lot of things happening over Ohio. And if you have your own videos or images, be sure to send them in. Alright, so what do you guys think? A lot of interesting things happening right now. NASA shutting down the feed. I cannot believe it. Although I did somewhat expect it. A lot of things happening. They don't want us to see space anymore, guys. They do not want us to see things on our own. They are censoring parts of the stereo and SDO helio viewers of the sun. They are suddenly sending out probes to investigate an asteroid that's supposedly supposed to destroy us within the next 100 years or so. And we are having more sightings than ever. So, again, thanks for stopping by. Very mysterious times. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe on your way out. And stick around because I've got a lot more coming. Stay safe, guys.